This is the Orioles POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Baltimore Orioles. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Good afternoon, everyone. 4:12 on the East Coast, and this is the Baltimore Orioles postcast. My name is Luke Slaybaugh, and I have been, for so far this season, the post-game show host here, the postcast on Locked On Orioles. Final score this afternoon, the Toronto Blue Jays 11 and the Baltimore Orioles 2. The O's lead 1-0 in each of these three games and give up the comeback win to Toronto, the AL East leader, the front runner for the AL pennant's best record in the league this season. If you're new here watching for the first time, I want to say hello and thank you. Go ahead, leave a comment. Let me know where you're watching from, your reactions and prognosis on the season. And be sure to like and subscribe. We have a good community here. Nehemiah Lockett was the first one in the chat today, and he says, at least the Baltimore Ravens won. At least you got that going for you. 1-1 on the season. Interesting development yesterday, and I guess this is worth talking about off the top. Yesterday, we were introduced to a gaggle of Toronto Blue Jays fans in the comment section that took exception to what Brian Roberts had said Friday on the Masson broadcast, a derogatory comment about Canadians and baseball. Glossed over in the middle of a game in the pickoff move and disengagement. Once that made it to the internet, and there's a little bit of a time lapse, Jays fans and baseball fans in general who have empathy for Canada or Canadians were out looking for blood. And so yesterday became sort of a celebration point for Toronto fans. So anyone who is new here, congrats, earned it. You did a great job. And I think that it's worth talking about briefly. That does not echo the sentiment that most Americans have about Canadians. In the same way that you wouldn't question or you wouldn't rag on Southerners for hockey knowledge, the success that teams have had in Nashville or even the expansion down to Atlanta a couple of times or St. Louis. So I am not Brian Roberts. And by virtue of his comments, yesterday's episode became the most viewed postcast this season. Thousands of you tuned in for the first time. So there's that. And the Blue Jays also have a lot to celebrate because they picked up Shane Bieber at the trade deadline. And what a move it was. He carved the O's up today.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Traded for the second rounder that the Blue Jays drafted out of Mississippi State last year, who in his own right might be a very good pitcher one day as well. Cal Steven. He's a great pitcher, but he's going to develop in the minor leagues. So this could turn out to be a great win-win between the Guardians and the Blue Jays. What you'll see from some starters coming off of Tommy John surgery initially is some rusty command. And that was not the case for Shane Bieber today. The right-hander is wrapping up his age 30 season and has been a great gamble. You're playing medicine ball at the trade deadline, getting a guy who hasn't pitched at all, and Toronto is going to reap the benefits of it. Nothing was middle. If you take a look at the heat map today, or the StatCast pitch location with all those little lines coming in, 9 ground ball outs for Shane Bieber. The only blemish on his record today was a home run surrendered to Coby Mayo. 1 out in the top of the second, scoreless game. He falls behind real quick and leaves a fastball up. That's not even really in the zone, though. It wasn't a poorly located pitch at all. For Coby, a home run to straightaway center field, his 9th of the season, a good confidence booster for him as he goes yard in back-to-back games. Otherwise, some great command and pitch selection for Shane Bieber to carve through this Orioles lineup. A 1-2-3 top of the third inning. He's pounding Jackson Holliday and Dylan Beavers in on the hands with fastballs at 93 and 91 respectively, and able to induce some weak contact. Jackson Holliday grounding out to Ernie Clement at second base and Dylan Beavers flying out to right. In the top of the fourth, some good at-bats being worked. Gunnar Henderson works a full count and walks. Jeremiah Jackson grounds out to shortstop on a full count, Gunnar advancing to second base. And then with a runner in scoring position, a prime opportunity for Samuel Basayo shows him fastball early and then counters with 4 consecutive breaking balls, a changeup, and then 3 knuckle curves for the strikeout. Gets Coby Mayo to fly out to end the inning. Top of the 6th gets Jeremiah Jackson to strike out, ending a 7-pitch sequence with a slider away. Bieber was nails, and he is an impending free agent. Might be something that Mike Elias and the front office look at. The guy can show that he has no rust, good command, and decent stuff coming off of elbow surgery. That could be a good candidate to sign over the offseason. The O's need pitching, and best of luck to Shane Bieber in the postseason. He has certainly earned a spot there with Toronto. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 5 Ks for Shane Bieber. And Albert Suarez did his best through 3 innings to counter Shane Bieber. When it came time, however, to pass the baton to Grant Wolfram, that is when things went south.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Tough to see the bullpen try to stitch the pieces together. Sherry Radway appears to be one of those aforementioned Toronto Blue Jays fans commenting live on YouTube. Never thought I'd say this, but I feel bad for you today. Good game, better luck next time. I hope for you in Chicago. Yes, Baltimore Orioles coming to the Rate Field playing the White Sox, and we'll talk about that in the second block. But thank you for the comment. As always, these shows stream live to YouTube, available on demand wherever you get your podcasts for free. If you haven't already, subscribe, leave a shout, leave a review, leave a comment. These are all kind of shooting from the hip. I do take notes, so I will occasionally look down. That is not to say that I'm glossing over things by any means. Wolfram comes in, gets a ground ball out, and then a couple of weak contact plays that result in base hits for the Blue Jays. Alejandro Kirk hits this cue shot to Jackson Holiday. He's playing it on the backhand, sliding to the lip of the infield toward that outfield turf. It's an infield hit for Kirk. Then Dalton Varsho with a ground ball chopped between first base and the pitcher's mound. It is the classic conundrum PFP pitcher's fielding practice that you practice to death in spring training. Coby Mayo goes for it, tries to flip to Grant Wolfram, and all 6'8", 240 of Wolfram stumbles, cannot beat Varsho to the bag. And so you've got 2 runners on there on weak contacts. Ernie Clement up next. First pitch hits a double off the third base bag into the corner. 2-run score on that four-seam fastball at 95 makes it a 3-1 ball game. And from there, the Blue Jays never look back. The O's get 1 more run today. It's off the bat of Colton Cowser, right-hander Louis Varland in, and after striking out Basayo and Mayo on knuckle curves consecutively, Colton Cowser gets a first pitch middle at 99, lets it travel, lets it get deep, and hits his 14th home run of the season opposite field to left. 105 off the bat, and 388 feet, the tape measure, made it 5-2. Unfortunately, things went from bad to worse from the bullpen, and we do have to talk about that. A major league debut that is one to forget for one Carson Ragsdale. Who is that, you might ask? We'll get into that after the break. Look ahead to tomorrow as well. This is the Orioles Postcast. Please stick with us. But first, I want to give a shout out to our 3 sponsors today. Count them 3. Business is booming. It's football season, and that means it's time for FanDuel. NFL season's here. New button. New customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. It is quick, it is easy, and it is the best way to add a little bit more energy to your Sundays. If you're ready to play, download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. What do you have to lose? Episode's also brought to you by PrizePicks. That's the daily fantasy app where making the right call can actually pay off. You and I make decisions every day. Sometimes we lose our credit cards in downtown Chicago. Not the best thing that you could do. But with football back, PrizePicks is the simplest and fastest way to get in on the action. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections, and you can turn your takes into real prizes, all in less than 60 seconds. It is quick, it is easy, and it's honestly one of my favorite ways to follow along with live football games. Download the PrizePicks app today and use the code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDON MLB for $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. PrizePicks, because it's good to be right. Coming up clutch for our audience is Nutrafol. Probably seen all the ads about hair growth and loss, and some of you have experienced it, and you're looking for a way to get thick, get back in this. Give Nutrafol a closer look. Why don't you? Why, Luke, you might ask? Well, it's the number one dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1.5 million people. It's a supplement clinically tested to target the root causes of thinning and shedding with a proactive approach. You can feel good about it, knowing that Nutrafol is NSF certified and backed by peer-reviewed studies. See thicker, stronger hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering Locked On MLB listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code Locked On MLB. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code Locked On MLB. Jeff Molnar comments on YouTube, the O's pitcher's getting jumped right off the bat. Got to stop that noise. If it weren't for Nutrafol, my hair would be falling out talking about Carson Ragsdale. But my hair is muy guapo. It's not in order today. Bottom five, the major league debut of right-hander Carson Ragsdale in relief of Grant Wolfram. It's a 5-2 game at the time, if memory serves. Actually, no, 3-1. I apologize. 5-2 eventually. We'll get to that in a second. Um, Carson Ragsdale, 27 years old, 6'8", 235, claimed off of waivers from the San Francisco Giants in August. So not much in the way of a prospect. However, he had 23 and a third innings under his belt at AAA Norfolk. Pitched to a 3.47 ERA in 7 appearances. 5 of those are starts. So you're cooking with gas. You've got something to work with down there. And right-hander Sean Dubin goes on the IL with right elbow discomfort to make room for Carson Ragsdale. And it starts out with his command a little bit shaky. First hitter you face in the major leagues is George Springer, who's en route to a 30 home run season. First pitch is a fastball outside at 95, then a slider low, slider outside. You just want to get something over the plate. He throws a 94-mile-an-hour fastball in. Springer starts to flip his bat. He thinks it's inside, and it is a hair inside. A shout out to home plate umpire Nick Marley for some questionable strike calls on the fringes, and we'll get to that in a second. We're talking about Luis Vasquez in the bottom of the eighth. So a get over pitch for Carson Ragsdale. He throws one high, fastball 94, and at that point, Springer is sitting dead red, and he launches it into the left field stands for a home run, 4-1 the score. Ragsdale from there starts landing his curveball for strikes. Split finger is a good out pitch to get Nathan Lucas to fly out, and strikes out Addison Barger. With 2 strikes, he goes up and in on the fastball at 95, gets out of the inning for his first major league strikeout. It would appear that he has settled down. 68th player to get on the roster for the O's this year. Has overcome thoracic outlet syndrome. Tommy John as well. It was a 2020 4th-round pick by the Philadelphia Phillies. A long route to get to the major leagues out of the University of South Florida. Gave up an RBI hit to Joey Loperfido. He was dialed in on a fastball at 92 middle in with 2 outs and a runner on first. Made it 5-1, and at that point, the game is starting to get out of reach. You see the Jays well on their way to their 46th comeback win of the year. Things spiraled out of control there in the bottom of the 7th. Ragsdale still on, basically getting the Cody Poteet treatment from Easter Sunday. You remember that game on 420 where Charlie Morton got obliterated by the Reds? And so Brandon Hyde was like, yo, Cody, Go out there, pitch till your arm falls off. And it did. We didn't see Cody Poteet ever again. And that was the 24-2 game. Basically what Ragsdale has to go through here. George Springer gets a split finger fastball, middle, doubles to left field. That's 3 consecutive plate appearances for Springer with a double. He had an RBI hit against Albert Suarez there in the third as well, which I don't know if we were going to get to Suarez today. But yeah, the bottom of the third, Jimenez and Springer going back to back with doubles tied the game up at 1-1. Thought Suarez was good, 5 strikeouts, good glove side run on the fastball. That's your Albert Suarez lead for today. Lucas singles, Guerrero walks on a 2-seamer outside. So, oh boy, what do we got? Bases loaded here. Addison Barger with an 0-1 split finger fastball at the knees, slices it into the left field corner. Dylan Carlson plays this awkwardly. He drops the ball as he tries to get it on the exchange. That normally counts as an error. The original box score before the game book went final did not give him an error on that. And again, the game's already out of reach. It's 5-2. 3 runs come around and score. Of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. kind of belly flopping in there to make it an 8-2 ball game. Alejandro Kirk hits a jam shot to right field. Dylan Beavers trying to sell out and play hero ball, dives and misses it. So Barger scores from second base, makes it 9-2. Ernie Clement hits this cue shot 58 miles an hour past Gunnar Henderson. The play on that ball is awkward. It looks like Gunnar was in between barehanding and fielding it on his own. And when you can't commit to one of those, it's just going to squirt by you. Again, likely an E6. Made it 10-2. 6 runs total for the Jays in that inning. He gets George Springer at the end of the inning, strikes him out on a splitter looking on the black to end this inning. And Luis Vasquez mops it up. A 1-2-3-9 pitch inning there. Nick Marley, the home plate umpire, was calling the ball where it was caught, which fundamentally is not what an umpire is supposed to do in the major league. But you got like a 32-mile-an-hour eephus pitch, and the fans at Rogers Center are booing, either for Marley or for Vasquez. But just these, lobs in there. And again, gets a 1-2-3. The best reliever, Leah Smith commenting here. Hey, long time no see. Welcome. I appreciate it. The O's carry on. We're gonna wrap this up post haste before I say anything here, but I do want to address that Blue Jays fans, you're cool. Good luck. I am not Brian Roberts. I don't endorse anything he said. Come on. And just keep the comments respectful. There was one I did have to go in and delete that got a little bit too over the edge. But just, use common decency here. We're trying here. The O's carry on. And they go down to the greatest city west of the Mississippi, Chicago. O's at White Sox for 3 games. Shout out to my boy Len Casper, Chris Quintana, Connor McKnight, all my friends over there at Rate Field. Right-hander Kyle Bradish gets the mound. He's got a 2.65 ERA through 3 starts this year and a 0.94 walks and hits per innings pitched. Could be fun. His counterpart is 25-year-old rookie Sean Burke. Burke pitching to a 4.35 ERA in 25 games. 21 of those are starts. 4-10 record over 120 innings pitched. And that is a 7:40 Eastern first pitch on Masson 2. I want to thank you so much for tuning in here. The final score on this Sunday is the O's are swept. Toronto Blue Jays 11 and the Baltimore Orioles 2. Good night. Stay safe. And I'll see you right back here tomorrow night.